From a live studio audience, Toad McCroaks Late-Night Show!
Thank you. DigiGhost, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. We might have to save that one, but it's definitely in tonight's show. So we have a good show for you tonight. In fact, it's the first ever show, so there is nothing to base it off of. So it's got to be, this is the absolute best show we've ever done. Hands down. At this point, this is the best. So, we have two wonderful guests for you tonight. We've got the amazing DigiGhost, who does, obviously, the DigiGhost NFTs, the little animated ghosts that bob up and down. Some of them are smoking. I mean, this guy's smoking in the building. I told him, but he said, no, I don't care. I'm smoking. That's what I do. I can't even get rid of it. And I understand it's a bad habit, but no, I don't even think he smokes in real life. But his DigiGhost definitely does, and he's smoking in the building tonight. And our second guest is one of the nicest people that you might find in Twitter Spaces, who will be there. You could ask him for help. He'll help you out as much as he can. He'll get you the connections that you need. He's become a really good pal of mine, and that is McFly, who has done the Rhino Bros collection. They've got a generative collection, and they're coming out with one-on-ones now. And we're going to learn more about both of these projects and both of these amazing people within this community. And I cannot forget, we also have the magnificent, the Toad-rific, the extraordinaire himself, Jay Gray. Now, Jay brings awesome marketing to the table. He brings awesome ideas. He is the business marketing mind that is helping out community after community within Web3 spaces. I mean, this guy has touched his finger in more places than some politicians. And in the good way, not in the no-no way. So I love him for it, and I'm so happy that he's going to be able to come and help bring some knowledge to us and add that extra layer into the show. And I cannot forget, we have my good buddy Carl. And Carl's really great at being Carl. He's a headstrong tortoise, and he slaps the hell out of a keyboard. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this show started. Welcome to the stage, DigiGhost. Thank you for being our first guest on the show. So can you tell us a little bit about DigiGhost and your NFT project?
Yeah, DigiGhost, they're digital ghosts. They're animated. I guess I'll just start with how I got started. I started the DigiGhosts out of spite. I was like playing poker one night with like a group of friends, and everybody was talking about NFTs, just like shit talking, and like, everyone's giving their like hot takes, like, oh, it's like bullshit, it's like baseball cards, like anyone could do it, like blah blah blah. And these were all like my business school buddies, and then they were saying like we should start our own project and blah blah blah, like let's all meet, like it's Saturday night, they're like let's all meet tomorrow, in like less than 24 hours, and we'll each have a proposal and a deck, and we'll each propose our project, and we'll go with one, and we'll do it. And I'm like, and they're all saying like, like some of them were in the space, and they were like, oh, we got to do like whitelist for months, and like marketers, and like unlock metaverses, and basically all the shit that you see with all the high, profile over marketed under delivering projects. And I knew about my friend Egg Boy, and I was kind of like, I would rather do something like this, where you just like slowly leak out one of ones and like build a community around the art, just kind of like a slow drip of like art where you're like buying them. I wasn't in the space. Literally everything I knew was like hearsay of friends who had like had projects and stuff. So I made DigiGhosts in like one night. I made the first 8 of them. I made the Twitter, and I made the collection all in one night. probably in like a 18-hour just like binge of doing it, and like just came up with the whole vision and everything in like one night for this like pitch meeting the next day. And then everyone gave their pitch about their like big pie in the sky ideas, and then they're like, everybody was like, oh, we like the DigiGhost idea, like we're all gonna jump on the DigiGhost idea, and like you just keep making the art and like we'll help with the Twitter. And I was like, no, I'm done, like I'm already like up and running, like I'm just gonna keep this going. And they're like, oh, do you want to like work on art projects? I'm like, no, I'm just gonna keep doing this thing. I had a lot of fun doing it for like 18 hours straight last night, and that was like maybe like mid-January, and I've been like running with it ever since.
Yeah, that's totally awesome. Really toadtastic. So are they currently in the space right now, or what?
I mean, a couple of them are like collectors who were like flipping before, but now when the market cooled off, they kind of just like disappeared completely.
Oh yeah, we definitely saw a lot of people leave the space once the water got a little cold. So, what about your background? Are you into art? I know you're saying that you was going to school for business, but what about your background? Is it art focused or what?
I was actually, I mean, I was more into like crypto before than like digital art or anything about that. But I was like a super big like video game like dork my entire life. Like, grew up with like N64 fucking glued to the screen and like glued to Game Boy. And like, I think of it more as like a gaming type of art than anything. Like when I'm drawing them, I'm like mostly picturing them like in video games and how they would interact in a game and like, those types of things. Not like, I do definitely think of it as art. I think of those video game pieces as art as well, but it's not just like, art for the sake of art. I think of it as like an interaction that you have with like a fucking pixelated thing. But I do have art, and I do fucking like art. Aside from that, I just bought like two paintings this past weekend that I just like. Definitely, am buying art more now after being into NFTs because it's just like, I don't know. I have like more appreciation for like small communities and shit. I went to like a local art place and bought a couple paintings. Like probably wouldn't have done that as much before. Probably would have ordered online. But I was like, I'm gonna see what fucking dudes are creating art down the street at this gallery, and like got a couple pieces from them.
Oh, that's really awesome. I mean, you're literally supporting the little guys in and out of the Web3 space. That's great.
Yeah, I know it's fun and it's fun. It's just like in the space where it's like, they really appreciate it, and like, it's such a big compliment that, I walked into a studio where there's like 20 artists, and I was like, I like this one and I like this one, and then I bought them and I met the artists after, and like then we went and, like got lunch and like talked about some shit, and it's like just like the NFT space where it's like, you know, liking somebody's like art or their project is like the fucking biggest compliment. So like, it's cool to do it in real life too.
Oh yeah, that's really fantastic. Community goes a long way in any space. So let me ask you, DigiGhost, is there anyone that has influenced you? I know you talked about knowing personally Eggboy and before you got into the space, but is there anybody that you was really looking up to, like this is kind of what I want to structure my DigiGhost after?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people. Like one that I'm like still into, and I love this community, is like the low effort punks and like Lep, like his project. He's doing like 10,000 crypto punks like hand drawn. And like the one thing that I like really take from his project that I try and do is like the excitement around the drops. Um, like when I make something, I don't want to just be like, here it is, and like nobody knows about it, or like, it's just in like Discord or something. Like I make the fucking music videos about it. I like tell everybody about it in advance. I like want it to be a thing where it's like, there's engagement around the drop and it's exciting and like you want to like race for it, and it's like, a token that's like, there's exclusivity around it, and you want to get it. Like, and that's something I definitely took from. I definitely took from fucking Eggboy because like I knew about him as a friend of mine. Like we were friends in college before I even knew about the space. So like the only two projects I knew about when I made the DigiGhost was CryptoPunks and Eggboys. So the first fucking ones I made are definitely just like an amalgamation of those two things because it's literally all I know. Because I didn't even have Twitter. I didn't even see any other NFTs. I think the only other ones I might have saw were fucking NBA Hot Shots, from like even before OpenSea. I definitely like, I love so many people like Blockbirds. So then there's like the people I saw when I got into the space. Like I saw like Blockbirds and like Glyph Punks, and I was just like, oh, I definitely want to like do animated. That's like the first like 17 or so weren't animated, and then like I saw like some of the like pixel arts that were animated. I'm like, oh, this is just so much better. Like even just like a simple animation, like a cigarette blowing and like a simple up and down bob, just like really fucking adds a lot, and like I think gets you more connected to it than just like a still frame, especially when it's like a video game like centered thing. And there's so many people that like fucking I gotta shout out like Crypto Carney. She was like one of the first people who like I reached out to and was like, oh hey, I love your art, it's fucking hilarious, and like every time I see one it's like so funny and it just cracks me up. And she's just like the nicest person ever, and was just like, oh, okay, we're friends now, and just like started including me in like shit she was doing. And then like met a ton of people through Carney's, and like really I would say she definitely opened me up into like the bigger network of like a lot of other one-of-one artists. And then there's like 50 other people I could name, but I'm just gonna stop there.
Hey, yeah, I totally understand. That's really one of those things where you could probably sit there and list out for days the people that have inspired you and the people that have helped you along the way and the people that you want to shout out.
There's so many people like, and then like, and one I think of too is like Puma and like fucking Southside City. Like they were like one of the first couple people. Like Puma reached out to me when I only had made like 10 ghosts, and like he was like, oh, do you want to do a collab? And I was like so pumped. And like I feel like that got me like a ton of traction after he helped me out. And then like Southside City, it was the same thing. It was like, to me it was like this big cool project, and I only had like fucking 20 ghosts and like like hardly any sales. And he's like, oh, you want to do a collab? And like did a collab, and like that type of shit like really gives you fuel, especially when you're starting out. And I was starting out in January where there was like just pandemonium and all these big projects. And like the fact that there were these like one of people that even like, when you're out there in like the first couple months, you don't even know if anyone's seeing your shit. You're getting like 3 likes, so the fact that somebody like reaches out, they're like, oh, not only do I see it, I like it, I want to like be a part of it. It's like, oh shit, like that's fucking awesome, that could like fuel you for months, like something like that happening more so than like any sale. Is like making those connections is like, oh shit, someone like wants to be fucking involved with what I'm doing, like in the beginning you're like, shit, I might just like fucking pack it up. Like,
Yeah, let's find the rug roller.
there's no one to rug.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you're rugging yourself.
It's funny because that's the difference. Is like, I've seen people do this, and I totally like respect it, and I don't hold this against people. Like, you started a project, you did it for like 6 weeks, and then you're like, shit, I put all this effort into it, it's just not working out. I'm gonna like completely flip the script and start a new project with like something else. It's like, all right, stick with one of them though, like especially once you have people like starting to follow you and starting to believe in you. Like,
Yeah.
this one project of Duck Punks, and it was like the first person I ever like DM'd, and I was like, oh hey, it looks like you're just starting out, I'm just starting out too, like I'm just fucking creeping into everybody's DMs all the time. So and they're like, oh yeah, we're actually a team, and like we're gonna do this thing, and it's like gonna be huge, and like, and they just like same thing, made it like 6 weeks and didn't get to like over 200 followers, and like abandoned their Discord and everything. And I always make this joke, and I go into their Discord that's still there every once in a while. I'm like, we're gonna revive this, my friend, from like day one, Duck Punks. But it's like this team of people who just like don't give a shit. And I'm hoping there's just one guy there like reading those fucking messages.
Yeah, that's one of those things where probably everybody else in the community's done deleted Discord and done something else. So let me ask, what's the next step? So you're gonna keep pumping out some more DigiGhosts?
I mean, yeah, I'm at 102 out of 800, so I've probably got like 3 or 4 years left of just making ghosts. And then basically, like, I try and just do like games and events when I can with like cool tech that I find out about. Like, one cool thing that I've done, and I'm definitely going to keep doing, is like the AI events where it's like I saw this YouTube video of this dude who was like, I'm gonna like hold a battle against like every fucking major video game character and anime character ever. How am I gonna do it? I'm just gonna like have the AI tell me who would win. And you like basically type a prompt into this AI, like fucking Goku and Super like Smash Bros. Like Mario is like meeting a giant arena with thunderous applause, and like they enter the arena and leave their cages to fight to the death, and then it'll like give you a 3-page story about like what happens next. And I've done that with like DigiGhosts, where it's like, oh, post your DigiGhost, and then someone else posts under it, and I'll tell you who wins the fight, and then I'll post like a 3-page story about it. Or I did one where it's like, oh, tell their origin story. And then I'm working on like a choose your own adventure one right now. So like, little stuff like that, like when I can, like, because taking events takes a long time, and like it's really hard because it's like you have to decide like, okay, do I want to do an event for like my current people, and like are they like hungry for something that's like for their ghosts to interact with, like a raffle or an event, or should I just fucking sit down, shut up, and make more ghosts and like grow the community by making more? Because like there's definitely like a need for that always. So it's always like balancing those two things. It's like, okay, am I going to do events with my community and like be in the Discord and like be in my like, Twitter chat and like talking to my 50 homies who are like, down with it? Or am I going to like just be like, all right, sit down, shut up for 2 weeks and like make 10 ghosts that take like, anywhere from 1 to like 5 hours each, depending on like how crazy I'm going with it. And then, just try and get more people. So yeah, the plan is just like, get to the 800, keep growing the community, keep those like community events going, and keep developing on them, and like shit that I see that's cool. And then yeah, just other NFT shit, like just fucking merch. I guess sneak peek, I just got a bunch of stickers in, so we're gonna be starting to send those out. I'm like gonna be getting other shit in soon. So normal NFT shit, making ghosts, making games, just trying to make it fun.
Yeah, I think a big portion of this is just, engaging and entertaining and building that community. So, can anybody buy your merchandise right now, or how is that working?
No, basically I just have a first batch of stuff in, and I'm gonna send some out to kind of like the biggest holders, just so like I can just like give them some stuff, and then I'll probably be raffling stuff off and then giving stuff out with like the next like drop. So it's like for the next drop, I'll probably be like, hey, if you get the drop, you get some fucking ghosty stickers too, if you're like within a reasonable postal zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be spending $100 or so just trying to send out a little sticker to somebody. But
we could look into it.
yeah. I'm not very good at counting in the first place. I only got these little toad fingers, and it's tough sometimes. So, is there anything else that you would like to say that you want our audience to know, or the floor is yours? Maybe get something off your chest about Carl or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because honestly, I've had it up to fucking here. But no, just kidding.
Love you too, man.
Digi, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming out and being our first guest. I'm gonna see if Jay Gray wants to ask you anything. Jay, are you charged up over there?
I'm here. Wait, you mean electronics or like emotionally and spiritually?
I'm not sure, but I guess we'll figure it out.
Are you feeling full emotionally? Do you feel like you have enough emotions to keep you going, and then to also spread some of them out into the world?
More than the average human, most likely, but
most likely
still not where I need to be. Let's put it like that.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. I definitely feel that from a Toad's perspective. So Jay Gray, do you have anything you want to ask Digi?
Digi, no, that was great. It's always interesting hearing, the origin stories of friends. And I really like this whole format you guys have, because to be honest, we all should be repeating our origin story a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because new people are finding us every day. So I really like this. So it's been really interesting kind of hearing Digi's story. I love it.
It's funny because it wasn't that long ago, but in NFT time, it was like fucking, decades ago.
Right. When you do posture, right? And it's not about, lying or stretching the truth, but, you control the narrative. And, I don't even necessarily say it's fake it till you make it, but, you just gotta, there's a level of confidence, and you speak like the past, whether it was a week ago or 6 months ago, and, speak with authority, and people assign value to it. It works.
Well, Digi, I definitely think it's safe to say that you're killing it, and your ghosts prove it.
Thanks, Toad. You're the man.
Digi, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So, everybody, if you want to check out DigiGhost, you can go to twitter.com at DigiGhostNFT, and there you'll be able to see his Discord, his OpenSea collection, and all of his posts, everything to keep you up to date on everything DigiGhost. So, Digi, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and bring out McFly. Now, McFly is the starter of Rhino Bros, and I don't know if he's done choking his chicken yet. McFly, are you done choking your chicken?
There goes the neighborhood.
I'm done choking my chicken.
So, McFly, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So, tell us, you have Rhino Bros. You've got a whole bros full of rhinos.
Yeah, a whole broast full of them.
Yes, rhinos full of bros and bros full of rhinos. So, would you tell us a little bit about how Rhino Bros has got started?
Sure. I mean, it's similar to Digi. Like, it was out of spite, but a little different. So like, I got in like fall of last year, just with the buzz of NFTs, and I was trying to find that project that was gonna make me millions of dollars and stuff, So I was just jumping in a bunch of Discords. I'd never even got in Discord before, and was just like checking everything out and talking. And I was just trying to find a group that was like, okay, this isn't something big. This is something cheap that I can get into, and maybe it'll take off. And I got into this group called the Roughneck Rabbits. I got in there, and I thought it was sketchy to begin with, but I went with it. And I was just making like GIFs and memes for them, and just like basically I became their marketing somehow. And I just didn't have any money to buy my own NFT, so I was just trying to like do fan art and GIFs and see if somebody would like hand me out something. So like I did a bunch of GIFs for these guys, and they were like, hey, you're doing an amazing job. We'll throw you some free NFTs if you make us like some more GIFs and stuff. So I pumped out like 100 GIFs and memes for these guys. Like, they rugged, but you can still find them on Twitter and go to their Discord and like go to the meme section, and it's just like flooded with like memes that I made for them. And they ended up giving me like 4 NFTs, which was like my first NFTs. And then like rugged like a week after. But it really like got my feet wet. And the spite came because like I was making fan art because I took their character, which was a rabbit, and I just put it in my own costumes and stuff. I was like, I can do this shit. So I put it in my own costumes, and I was dropping it in their Discord, and they told me to stop posting fan art because I was confusing their fan base, and like their fans were gonna be mad like when my shit didn't get dropped in their collection. So I was like, what the fuck? I would drop some fan art and like everybody would be like, yo, this shit is fire. And I got a message from like the main dude and was like, yo, you need to stop dropping shit in our Discord. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like please don't kick me out. I was like, I'm sorry. I know I'm like just like a manic dude, like I just do my own thing. And I was like, don't kick me out. I want free NFTs. So I told my wife and she was like, fuck that, just draw your own character. So like out of spite, I just drew my own character while like making gifts for them and stuff. And like by the time they rugged me, I had my whole like first character, which I haven't even dropped yet. Like Rhino Bro was actually my best friend. Like I hooked up with him afterwards and I was like, yo, I just drew all these characters. Like, can you help me like do the generatives, because like he knew coding and stuff. I wasn't very versed in that. And he was like, yeah, I got you, bro. And he was like, you need me to do anything? I was like, yeah, if you want to draw something, go ahead. And he like came to me with Rhino Bro and I was like, dude, that's awesome. So I did like a bunch of costumes for Rhino Bro and we just rolled with it. And Rhino Bro was just supposed to be like a test thing at first. Like that's why I did it for like 16 cents because I was like, I don't want to like screw anybody over because I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I was just like, let me just test the market. So it's like, that wasn't even the main character. At first, I still have like my character that I did that's like special to me to drop like later on. But it's like the reception was good for Rhino Bro. It was like, oh, I love the overalls and like I connect with this or that. And I was like, oh, well, fuck, like, okay, I got to roll with this guy. So it's like we've retooled the like story we had for like the cartoon we're working on. And like just switched gears a little bit. So it's like I still have my character that's special to me coming out, but it's like I'm doing the one-of-ones every Sunday of Rhino Road, just a new costume, which is like characters that will be in the cartoon. So I did the generatives first just to test the market, and like the one-of-ones are characters that will be in the cartoon, like part of the show. So I'm working on the cartoon just in my spare time. And trying to get that out as soon as I can. It's just like in real life stuff is like preventing me from going balls to the wall. I got like a baby on the way and trying to get a better job and stuff. So it's like I'm doing this as a passion and just like I don't have a roadmap or anything. It's just like what I can do in my spare time and just connect with people and try to get collabs and just do the best I can with my free time, my passion to keep this going. But yeah, it was really just out of spite. Like, okay, fuck these guys. They rugged me and like told me to stop doing fan art. Like I can do this on my own.
Yeah, you definitely have to be fluid in this space. So you can just go with the flow, because the space is ever evolving and changing. So it was definitely a wise move of you to go ahead and stick with that flow and make it happen. And so your first generative project, what's that sitting at now? How many are left?
Well, we sold out of the generative collection, which was just supposed to be like a test. And it's like all the friends that I made, which was just like, I only had like 2 or 3 like random people I didn't know that bought a Rhino Bro. It was really just like other artists that I became friends with in the space that like bought stuff. So I was like super happy.
Yeah. I was actually fortunate enough to watch the countdown happen on Twitter. Rhino Bros, for y'all that don't know, he clocks off of Twitter pretty early so that he can go take care of family business and everything. Much respect for that. But once he clocked off, the final bit of Rhino Bros started selling out, and they had a countdown going with everybody saying, oh, there's only 5 left, oh, there's 4 left, and so on until it was finally sold out. It was really awesome to watch.
I know, I was like, what? There was a fucking countdown? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was really terrific to watch. So, you have the one-on-ones coming out now that the generative project has sold out. So every Sunday, I think it is, that you come out with a new one-on-one and you show it to all your holders. Is that right?
Yeah, Sundays I like reveal the whole one of one to anybody that bought one of the generatives. Like I got a group chat on Twitter, and if you bought one of the generatives, you get to see like the full one of one. And like I offer it for a discount to those guys since they supported me, from the jump. And if they don't want it, then I'll drop it to the public. And it's really just like presenting the characters in the cartoon like as they come to me and as I work on it. So it's like any of the one-on-ones I dropped are going to be in the cartoon. And other than that, it's just really friendship and community is all I care about, really.
Yeah, and it's really evident that you're growing every day, McFly.
Yeah, I'm trying my best, and that's like the first custom I did was for Jay Gray, and it's like when I met him in Hash Bastards Discord, and I saw him doing like GIFs and memes and stuff, I was like, oh, this is a kindred spirit. Like this is a dude just like trying to help out any way he can. And I was like, I'm doing this guy a fucking custom Rhino Bro because like I'm doing the same shit. Like I'm just trying to like add to whatever project I can because like I support this space and all the like smaller artists because like I was just trying to do anything I could to just be involved, before I had my own project. So when I saw Jay Gray, I'm like, this dude deserves a fucking custom. Like if I'm doing my own project because like he's doing the same shit I'm trying to do, just trying to help out any way he can.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah. It's really funny how similar his custom Rhino looks to him, and I really mean that in the most loving way possible.
I use makeup to try to like tone down my horn when I take selfies and stuff, but it's all just camera tricks.
Yep, that's what it is. I knew it.
That's one of the first ones I saw that I remember was the Jay Gray Rhino. And I was just like, oh, cool, there's a generative project off of fucking Jay Gray. That's awesome.
Yeah, when I found Jay Gray, I was like, oh, okay, this guy embodies Rhino Bro, like everything I envisioned. Like this is the dude. I just met him.
Well, I tell you, McFly, it was really awesome to see the progress, the growth, and everything with Rhino Bros and everything that you're doing with it. And I'll go ahead and say it, but McFly and myself, we're going to be doing a little collab with the Untold Croaks where Rhino Bros are going to come in on the Untold Croaks and get into some shenanigans, to say. But we'll go ahead and move on. That's more information on that coming later. So, Carl, Jay Gray, do you have anything that you want to add or ask McFly about the Rhino Bros or anything else?
I think this is it's good. It's another reason I like this show that you guys have built because again, sometimes you forget, you get to know people on social media, Twitter and everything in the NFT space, and you kind of forget to stop and ask them again their origin story. It's funny that because I think a lot of us have been a part of a community in the space and then sort of, invested emotionally in NFT communities and, it not panned out for whatever reason. And I think a lot of people can identify with that. So, again, I'm just stoked to hear that origin story and glad he got to tell it again.
But I'm sure all the ladies out there are wondering, is the Rhino Bro single?
You talking about the character? Or like Jay Gray's Rhino Bro? Which Rhino Bro?
Well, yeah, let's make it about me because I'm definitely single, ready to mingle, and my horn is bigger in real life than it appears in pictures. Remember that?
Yeah, that's why you got to use the makeup.
How's that preferred
version of Jay Gray?
Well, there we go. I think we have an answer.
McFly, thank you for coming out. And lastly, I just want to say congratulations for you and your wife. I know that y'all were expecting on bringing in new life into this world here soon. So, big congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
McFly, DigiGhost, Jay Gray, Carl, thank everybody so much for being here, for helping out, for sharing your origin stories, for giving us the cool inside look at your projects and what make them tick. I look forward to watching everybody's growth, watching the progression of the projects and the continuation of the projects. And again, thank you so much for coming out here tonight and chatting and telling your story. This is what it's all about, getting exposure to our communities, because we are a small, tight community, even though it seems like we're not within the Twitter spaces. There's a click here and a click here, but really, we're all in this together. We're changing the future. Don't forget to check out Pablo Knight's NFT vote off at pabloknight.com. He's doing an NFT vote off where artists and collections and projects get together and they go through a bracket tournament. There is 64 NFTs that you can vote for, and it all comes down to one. Now, Pablo Knight is going to be doing giveaways. He's going to be doing a lot of cool things, and so be sure to check it out. That's pabloknight.com, NFT vote off. And thank you, Pablo Knight, for everything. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you, DigiGhost and Rhino Bros. I hope everybody had a good time. I hope you were able to tell your story the way that you wanted it to be told. Now, you can find DigiGhost and Rhino Bros on Twitter. Their links will be in the YouTube details. That way you can just click on it and go straight there. Jay Gray, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us your wonderful insight of marketing and things of business ventures that some of us don't always think about. Carl, thank you for thanks for being a tortoise, Carl. You're doing great at it. Well, good night, everybody. Have a safe week, and we will see you next time. We have some awesome guests coming up on the next show, so we are looking forward to that. Well, I'll see y'all then. And that's our show, McCroaks Late-Night Show. Good night, guys. Toad love, my friends.